Hello and welcome to the Rangers Rabble podcast. My name is Jamie and I am joined by Kerr again, the
Yes.
two stalwarts. And we are here, and this is the preview show. So we play Motherwell
Sunday.
at home on Sunday.
Yep.
So it's a home tie, Kerr, which is makes me feel a wee bit better because we're
3
good at
o'clock.
home in the league. We're good at home in the league. So we play Motherwell on Sunday. So we're going to here to chat about the build up to that game, potential teams, what we see happening. But I don't think, Kerr, excuse me, oh cough. I don't think we can talk about that right away because the dust is settled. And
Yep.
last night, Rangers progressed to the
That,
last 16 knockout stages, Europa League
that the third time in 3 years.
again,
Yep.
third time.
We need to get by this stage, but we'll not get by this stage yet.
So that's a big one. Borussia Dortmund. We've built it up. We picked them out, Kerr.
I know.
What's your initial thoughts on us putting Dortmund out initially, not rather than the game for yesterday? What was your thoughts on putting them out?
Just unreal, to be fair. I didn't think it would
You were at
happen.
the game, weren't you?
I was, yeah. My
Talk
throat's
to us
still
about
no, my throat's still no great. I just thought last night it was just one of the games GD you can look back on. I don't like to be looking back on only this for this season, right enough. I will add, but you can look back on and say, "My God, we beat Dortmund." Folk can turn around and say that I wasn't Dortmund at the old. I wasn't Dortmund because they were missing Haaland, but at the end of the day, you watch that Dortmund team, they're going to probably finish second in Germany, which is a good achievement because we all know
it. Yeah.
Munich are a far superior side. But they're a good side. I mean, they get that team cost them like over 200 million. And how much did the other team cost? Players like Jude Bellingham, that boy, he's only 18, but he's going to be a future world star and
He
probably a
cost about
future
30
England
odd
captain.
million and he was 17, wasn't he?
Yeah,
They
yeah. I
said
mean,
last night, Kerr, it was over 300 million that team cost.
that team under 300, there you go. That's even worse.
Madness,
Oh, that's
isn't it?
even better for us, yeah. It just shows you. But when we play against a team who want to come out and play football, we can match that. We can match that with intensity. Yeah, last night the first half we weren't great, but they scored twice. And they were on the ascendancy for the second half. But we came out, we upped our game, and be fair to Gio, he switched in. He went to a back five or a back three. But John Lundstrom just sitting in between his centre backs was ideal. He just swept everything up. He was always there in the right position just to mop things up, pass it out for the back. I thought he was superb last night, John Lundstrom, and this guy, you can't give him enough credit because
Yeah.
January everybody thought get rid of him, he's rotten, he's on the wage bill, get him off it, and then he stepped in and he stepped up to the plate, and everybody did last night. To be fair, Bassey, who have been one of his biggest critics
Outstanding,
over
yeah.
the year, I mean that run for the goal, he just kept going, didn't he? And he whipped the ball, and Hummels mistimed it, but some finished by Tav, who's another guy who I just call him fuck's sake Tav because every Rangers fan I always hear fuck's sake Tav. But this guy, 79 goals he's scored for us, or 75 goals in his career. How many assists? He cost us 200 grand for Wigan or something, do you know what I mean? Give the guy, it's the time Tav get a break. Here's a captain. He
I
led
know.
by example last night. And
Massively.
it's time to get a credit for it. And even everybody in the team last night deserves credit. It doesn't care who it is because we played really well. We went down 2-1. We could have went into a shell and says, right, we need to hold on here, but we never. Gio switched it and we came out and we attacked them that second half. Even the goal we get disallowed, it was a goal. I don't care what VAR says.
Yeah,
You
it's a
never,
goal.
Morelos never touched him. So no credit to the players last night, superb. But JD, we have to focus in the league. I don't want to look back. I don't want to be sitting here with you and me and thinking, well, we finished second, but at least we beat Dortmund. That's not me. I want the league.
Yeah.
I want the league.
That's something we spoke about. We spoke about that as well, about it is celebrating that wee moment, but the focus needs to shift now. Just to touch on John Lundstrom, his positional sense, Kerr, that's a massive
Superb.
thing for me.
Aye.
It's even where he plays there or there. That's
Aye.
massive.
And he was, because remember last night he get booked quite early on. So
Yeah.
he could have said to himself, I can't really go on any hefty tackles. But it's just he trusts himself not to make that challenge. And you see his positional sense is ideal, even just standing in the positions to win the ball or to block a channel for teams to go down. And I thought he'd done really well sitting between the two centre backs. I thought we looked comfortable at that. I mean, I know we mentioned it in the tactics pod, me and Alex. I keep thinking Gio's going to go to a back three because he seems to be his preferred way. But if you can go to a back three and perform like that and let the two fullbacks go forward, because to be honest with you, when Tavernier's more forward, we get more from him. We can see his goals, his assists, how much Tav can give us. And 19 goals last season. I don't know how many assists, but he can't take that for a team. But as Tav get 10 goals this season, so he's done actually okay. He probably wants more because that's the type of person I just seen. I was watching the highlights from the camera, and even on Horn Hargreaves said last night. I mean, Tavernier puts that finish in for the second goal, finishes the second goal there, but he's not right to be there. But that's Tav. He just busts a gut to get up the park to on end or something
Yeah,
because that's his willingness, and you have to appreciate that. I know we all, like I said earlier, people slag him for this and that, and if he take a beat last night, the old time comes right into it. He's not a Rangers captain. That's bollocks. He plays like a Rangers captain. It's time he started talking about Tavernier as a Rangers legend for what he's been here and what he's been through. I mean, he's seen it all at Rangers. He's seen has been really poor. He's played with some really poor players, but now he's experiencing this side of it, and he's still here. And he probably could have moved. To be honest with you, because I think he could get a game back in the English Championship easy. Maybe even a blow reaches the Premiership at this moment in time, because he can offer a team so much other stuff for just your normal fullback.
I think. See, for me as well, Kerry's. You get those players through the years that grow with the team. Like all these other players, the eventually when you get to keep going on a level, they drop off. They're no good
Aye,
enough. We went
aye,
through it all with your Jason Holtz and even your Hallidays and all that. But Tav's been the one that just steadily continued as the team's grown. He's grown.
aye.
I thought last night he was. I mean, they all were, but I thought Tav was outstanding. And, I mean, I've even hearing earlier on Talksport about he's still suspect. I mean, Trevor Sinclair, he can't help himself, right? But he's
No, I
still
can't.
still suspect at defending. Like he was in the defence that didn't lose a game last year, and we're chasing for the league this year. We're in the last 16 in the Europa. He's in that defence, so I'm not buying that
I mean,
anymore.
you
Look,
look
and
at
all
Trent
defenders
Arnold,
make mistakes.
you
Yeah,
look at the boy for Liverpool, Trent, and the boy Andy Robertson, even players like Kieran Tierney for Arsenal and Luke Shaw for Man United, it's probably the worst example. He's good at going forward, but defensively they're poor because fullbacks, wingbacks, what you want to call them, their game nowadays is attacking, helping out attacking wise. Defensively, they're not the greatest because most teams play with two centre backs, maybe three, and then they'll play with a defensive midfielder. So don't want the fullbacks to sit. Liverpool get most of their goals for the fullbacks. So do Man City at times. So I don't mean goals scored wise. I mean just creating goals. Do you know what I mean? So no, Trevor Sinclair just talks through. He's a poor pundit, Trevor Sinclair, and
aye.
just stick to something else.
Can't help himself. He dropped in the old Glasgow derby and all. And I'm surprised Coyce never pulled him on it. Anyway, so we move on for last night, and we've got Motherwell on Sunday. So let's just
Yeah,
talk about. I know you've probably watched them a good few times this season,
I
Kerr,
watched
haven't
him
you?
against Aberdeen there on Saturday.
Oh,
And
so you did perfect timing.
to be fair, they should beat Aberdeen.
Yeah,
I know Aberdeen scored just before half time, and Aberdeen looked okay. Goodwin's first game, but Motherwell second half were the far better side. They had too many chances, no clear cut chances, but they were creating chances they couldn't finish. But Big Van Veen, he's just a handful. I know people say he's no great. It might not be great, but he's awkward. He's a big boy. He's a
he's an
nuisance,
SPL striker. He's a perfect striker for the
and
SPL.
he just keeps going. He doesn't give up. But when somebody who's awkward and a nuisance, and at times he doesn't know what he's doing. If he doesn't know what he's doing, now the defenders might know what he's doing.
Yeah,
I know that's a cliche at times, but he's annoying and he's a nuisance. And when you're playing against teams in SPL, that can cause you problems. We've seen it before with teams coming to Ibrox or even away from home. If people cause us problems, we can concede goals because we're not the best defensively, and I'm the first to admit that. But we'll have to try and keep a clean sheet on Sunday because I don't think it's going to be like last night. We're not going to get out and dominate. We'll have hundreds of possession, but it's not going to be that type of game because one of them are going to sit deeper, aren't they? They're going to
yeah,
put in maybe two blocks, and people think, well, we can do it against Dortmund, how can we against Motherwell? Because it's a totally different game. Totally different game.
agree.
You play better against better players, JT. I know it's
Yeah,
some people say,
agree.
well, that's how can you do that? How can that happen? It is because better players give you more time and you up your game against better players. If you're facing Jude Bellingham, you think to yourself, right, I'm up against this young guy. He's a world star. I have to be up to gear 100% here. I'm not saying the players are going to think different against Motherwell, maybe against Sean Goss, whatever, but it's a different type of game because they sit deeper. They'll come and they'll try and hit us in the break. And you've seen early in the season when they got a draw,
Yeah,
they're stubborn, and it's a difficult game for us. And we can't afford to drop any more points in the league. No matter about Europe, no matter about Celtic getting put out with Bodo Gim, that doesn't bother me, to be fair. I'm not interested. But Celtic are 3 points ahead, and come Sunday, the
Yeah,
time this game kicks off, they could be 6. And that's basically a 12-point swing since Christmas. That's not good enough, league
that's not
forum
good
wise.
enough. See, if you're talking about Motherwell, Kerr, defensively, is that where we can get at them? Are they a wee bit more vulnerable at the back? I don't even know many of their players. I know Big Mugabe plays on. He's always
Mugabe's
played
there,
well
aye.
against us, to be
Aye.
fair. But are they a wee bit more vulnerable at the back for us?
Yeah, Aberdeen got at them down the flanks. So they did a couple of times,
That's
and
perfect for us, isn't it?
Lewis Ferguson won a lot of headers in there against them. Ramirez scored, but he was just offside. But he was a nuisance as well. Ramirez was another guy who's not a great player, but he has a nuisance and gets
SPL,
goals.
innit?
I just think against us, it might not be as open as they were against Aberdeen, because Aberdeen they probably think they've got a chance of winning here. Rangers might think we'll come out and we'll hit the break, but if we can get a draw, that's great. So they'll be sitting maybe 10, 15 years further back, won't they? So it gives you less space to play, and then that's where players like Kent maybe struggle because he's up against 2 or 3 guys. There's nobody in behind because you can't get in behind, and we have to be on our game. We have to go out. We have to get a goal early. If you get a goal early, they have to come out. If the longer the game goes on Sunday, I don't want us to start struggling, just hitting the long balls and stuff because that's not us.
Motherwell sit sixth. Their away form's not the best. They've only won 2 away games all season.
I know.
They've lost 7 away games. We this is a victory. We need to go for a victory, Kerr. But Graham Alexander's done a good job turning them around because I mean people were shouting for his head early doors because he was trying to play football out the back. They were all kind of giving him a bit of pelters for it. It's kind of transitioned into they do play a decent football and they're in the top
They do.
6.
Aye, they do. They do. I mean, that's not why the old side it was under. I know Stevie Robertson's went to St Mum, but it's not the old side he had who were
Nah,
just a pack of thugs who just like to leave one on you and they was sitting around the 18-yard box.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? But he does try to play football, Alexander. And even, like I say, I mentioned John Goss, something like that. John Goss isn't
good
a great,
footballer.
he's not a great defender, but he's a very good footballer. Like.
Yeah. And then we've spoken about Van Veen. Obviously, they lost Tony Watt at the start. In January there. But I've just lost Kerr. What I was just going to say was they lost Tony Watt, which I think for a team like Motherwell's a massive body blow at that time of the season. Especially when they're playing good football and doing quite well. So, but they brought in Kevin Van. Well, never brought in, but he was out of the team probably more until Watt's left the club. But Kerr kind of touched on it before. He's a handful for a big guy. He never gives up. What cares about? He's got a wee bit of skill. He's got a wee bit of silkiness about him, and he's scored plenty of goals down south. He's scored a lot of goals down in probably is it League 2, League 1 and League 2 down south. So he's going to be the big danger, I think, when we play Motherwell. The only other one I would talk about is Liam Kelly. We do best of the rest as well, and obviously Liam Kelly's Motherwell's keeper. He's an ex-Rangers keeper. He was with Levy, done really well. Went down south to QPR, didn't work out. He's back up here again. He's into Scotland squads and stuff. But I always think with Liam Kelly, there's an opportunity there. There's something we can get at him. There might be an opportunity for him to make a mistake. There's always a mistake in there, so we'll see where that goes. We'll see if Kerr can come back. But we'll just let's touch on Rangers. What we think, what I think is going to happen. With the Gers in this game. Now, defensively, I think after the Dortmund game, I think it's now's it. I know we've probably said it a few times, but I think now's the time where, although we would maybe need to rest folk and people have played a lot of games, but if we're on this run, we need to maybe keep a more solid team in the same 11. So I don't think Barisic will come back in. This confidence thing with Borna, he lacks a bit of pace and he's just void and drained of all things going forward just now as well. So, and I think you seen last night with the switch with Bassey, what an absolute difference Calvin gives us going forward on that left-hand side. So, I don't think Borna will be back in the team for Sunday anytime soon. Again, I know Hollander's back fit. I think we need to ease Phil back into the team. probably on his form or when he's fully fit. But Hollander's my best defender, arguably. But bringing Balogun in last night at half time was a bit of a masterstroke by Van Bronckhorst. He won every tackle. So good at it. Big sliding tackles, last ditch tackles. Everything worked for Balogun in the game against Dortmund. So I probably think Balogun and of course Goldson will partner him in there. And then we've got the main man, the captain at the right back. I don't think that will change. I know Kerr thinks we might flip playing with a 5 at the back going forward, and I think last night proved that we will. And I think Gio might pick and choose his games. Having Bassett and Tav as your wing backs, it doesn't take anything away from having your Kents or anything like that, because Kent loves to come inside anyway. So you never know. I don't think we will go to that formation, but you might use it during games. We need to get results back and stuff like that. So I can't see the defence changing from the one that ended against Dortmund, especially and McGregor as well. I think I've been a bit critical of McGregor this season, I must admit. I've questioned where he would have dived for something. It's one of the ones, but I'm not saying we should drop him. I just think it's probably coming to the end for Alan. If we get through this season and get him that winners medal in front of the fans, that's what he deserves to go out with. Midfield wise, I don't know what to say about whether Ramsey will be playing or not. All we were told was he wasn't going to feature against Dortmund. We don't know how long he's out for. I've heard some sick rumours that he's out for a long time. That's WhatsApp and the rumour mill but it'd be interesting to see if he can make the bench again and get some minutes in his legs. We need to get him up and running if he is going to be fit. Although I would say that even getting him fit after the split could make a massive difference, especially for still get some European games. So I wouldn't count Aaron Ramsey out yet, but for the Motherwell game, I can't see it. I think also, although I'm saying we need to harness the result and the momentum from Dortmund, I wouldn't be surprised to see Scotty Arfield dip out, because there's Kerr back, folks. All right, Kerr, I just continued on there, mate, but I've just talked about the Rangers team. I was just saying, look, I think now's the time where we'll only see Borna for a few games. I think Gio's persisted with him a bit. He's went out, and Bassey's shown so much more, especially with Balogun and Hollander coming back. Bassey's going to feature more at left back now, isn't he?
I think you trust Bassey more. I think Borna might be a better footballer, you could say, but I think Bassey's just his attitude, his intensity, and just his overall aggression in the park. It gives you more. He doesn't pull out of tackles. He's not scared. He tries stuff. Borna's overthinking things. He's letting himself down. And I mean, if Borna played in the 5, he might look a bit better. But I like Borna Barisic as a footballer, but I have to say I'll go with Bassett at this moment in time because what I've seen recently, I'm more confident when he's here, especially if teams break on us. You feel like Bassey's going to dive in with a tackle or maybe get a clearance in or just put his body in the way. Borna, I don't think he would at this moment in time, so no, I'll go with Calvin, I have to say.
Yeah, see, I moved into the midfield there. I just touched on Aaron Ramsey and just the fact that there's been a lot of rumours that he's injured for a long time and whatever, right? And it's maybe not worked out so far, but even if we could get him fit post split, he could make a massive difference, because if we are still fighting in Europe, you need as many players as you can, I suppose, for these kind of games.
You do, and I don't know what Aaron Ramsey think, to be honest with you. I think it's going to win in
Are you disappointed with Kerr?
Yeah. Very, because I think we spent money could have spent maybe elsewhere. I think
we've had and not seen him.
I think, man, it's nothing to do with Aaron Ramsey. I'm not disappointed in him as per se, because we all know how good a player he is. But I just felt for kick-off Rangers getting Aaron Ramsey for Juventus, to me, doesn't seem right. I mean, if he was still fit, and none against Rangers, because I personally think myself we're one of the biggest clubs in Europe, if not the world. But it's just league-wise, I'm thinking if Aaron Ramsey's fit and wants to play, surely we go back to the Premiership, or surely we go somewhere else. But coming to Rangers, great. I mean, don't get me wrong, great club, great fan base, and the atmospheres are brilliant and stuff like that. But would you like to play against Motherwell and St Mirren, or do you want to go in the English Premiership again where you used to? I don't know. I just felt there was something wrong, and maybe that's the reason we got him. Maybe because we don't know when he's going to be fit, and it's not against Aaron Ramsey, but when's the last time he actually played? So getting him back up to full fitness is going to be a while. And I also think, did we actually need him? Obviously, a fit Aaron Ramsey walk into most sides in European football, but he's not been fit. But we drew a Rebo fire on all cylinders, so it wasn't a position we were desperate for. Plus, you've got other players who can fill in there. To me, we needed a striker more because when Morelos is off it or no scoring, we struggle. Either get Sakala and Roof, but they're not putting the numbers up. So I think we needed just a different type of striker. Athens not good enough. So it was just my opinion. I'm disappointed. I'm sitting with a Rangers top underneath this, with Aaron Ramsey in the back. That's how disappointed I was. Do you know? Do you know what I mean? I went and got his name in the back of his shirt, but I don't know. I just starting to think, was that a statement signing rather than a
Yeah,
football signing?
I think as well, probably the resurgence of John Lundstrom coming in is, we never thought, we probably were expecting Aaron Ramsey to come in, play every game, play every week, but right, we've said that probably in the last couple of weeks, but right now he probably doesn't come into my team anyway. He's not fit, but probably if he is fit, he does. But I was just saying there, been a lot of games, Arfield,
It has been, aye.
Ryan Jack. Do we see them probably maybe, or one of two of them sitting out against Motherwell for Kamara maybe to come back in, for a James Sands to come back in? What's your thoughts on that?
I think you might see a full drop. The only thing is, Scotty gives you so much, doesn't he, off the ball? So he does, and he can go for it. We seen last night he was unlucky not to score. Probably should have done better, but
Yeah.
he got himself in a great position. I mean, Ryan Jack's not a lot of games, so he should still be fit. It's just I think he's maybe have to watch him, but he's been fine so far. Lundstrom's the same. He's not a lot of games, so he's still nowhere near.
Momentum, yeah.
Aye, I mean, it's players who's played the start of the season maybe need rest at times, but they too, they've not played a lot of football, so it should still be a lot of energy in their legs. I
So
know there've been a
do
lot.
you think we'll see Lundstrom and Jack just keep the momentum going, just keep them playing, get the minutes in, just keep playing,
I
playing,
don't
playing?
think it'll change a lot. Yeah, I think he has going to have to go with roughly maybe the same 11, 12 players constantly because I don't think we can afford to drop any points. So I think changing it too much could upset us. Do you know what I mean? So I think we're going to have to keep the same team unless there's injuries or suspensions because I don't like change. And I think the back five yesterday worked.
Yeah.
I know folks, you don't. I was playing five at a back against Motherwell, but you're letting your full backs attack, and you mean you don't have to maybe play one sitter. And you see yourself with Jack Lundstrom. Lundstrom can sit deeper, but it doesn't mean Jack's sitting. Jack likes to get forward, right, Jack?
Yeah.
He's kind of box to box, so is John Lundstrom. Kamara's different. He's no box to box. Kamara just floats about in middle and tidies up and does his stuff. I know he scored the other week, but that was kind of a nosebleed moment for Glenn, wasn't it?
Yeah. Do you think it's a distinct possibility we could just stay with the five here and bring Sands or Lundstrom and just sit them in there full time, or bring Hollander in with Balogun and Goldson and play?
I think it might change it depending who we're playing. But I wouldn't bother me if he played with it. I like a back three to be fair.
So
I
you can do
think
it
you
with
can.
Motherwell though.
Why not? I might change it up for what they think. Because then if they've got Big Van Veen up there who's sitting between two centre halves, you now have to sit in between three centre halves,
If
and
basically
it's
get man marked and then two
more
covering them, isn't
difficult
it?
for him. Aye, and because you've got one sitting like say Lundstrom, just like to sit in between them, means Golson can go forward with the ball because
Yeah.
Connor can pass a ball. He can go up for more corner kicks and free kicks because John Lundstrom's just going to be sitting back anyway. So it depends. But playing five at a back, playing three at back, doesn't mean you're defensive. It just depends how the rest of the team can play. But we've seen it last night. The tactic worked, and Dortmund weren't ready for that. And it worked in our favour because the first half they were getting a lot of wee balls in between the centre backs. But in the second half they weren't because John Lundstrom was in that space.
Just to touch on the last two men, we need to just quickly touch on it. Then these two will start every game now going forward, Kerr, and they always did. But
Yeah.
it was. I'm not saying they're striking up a wee partnership, but it looked like they worked a wee bit better together last night. And when we went to the five, because it was almost like Kent was a foil for Morelos. With everything
Yeah, he
Morelos
was,
put
yeah.
the ball doing, Kent was in about it. They
Yeah,
looked
you
good
noticed that.
together.
I noticed that, yeah. When we went to that, Kent get more. He stayed more. He wasn't as wide.
Freedom,
He was
yeah,
more just playing off Alfie, and it worked because when Ryan Kent's in his game, listen, Ryan Kent can do it in England and play in the Premiership easily. Because if he was playing with somebody like West Brom at the moment or Southampton or somebody, he'd be worth millions. I'm
I
telling you
know.
because he, even on Hargreaves said it last night, he's a player you can hardly get the ball off her. And his two performances against Dortmund will show teams, listen, he's maybe worth a bet in the summer. And I'm not saying people are going to sell him, but if somebody comes in and offers us 25, 30 million, you can't really knock it back. But you go with the players in England, JT, you see getting sold, Kent's worth that.
Oh,
Because he does things that other players can't do. He might not be consistent every week, but he can win a game himself or he can create a chance. And his defensive side of the game's improving constantly.
massive, massive. Do you think, Kerr, do you think we play these big games, and this is what we've always said, right? This is when Ryan Kent turns up and he's ripped. I mean, he's retired Celtic right backs and all that, right? Boys like that Swedish boy, man, done his hamstrings and everything, right? He's done it to them all. Look, Lustig win it.
Uh,
He's sold them all hot dogs. He's done it to them all. Anytime in Europe, he does it. But you just touched on it earlier. Is it maybe more difficult for the way his style is and the way he plays when we play a wee team like Motherwell, St Mirren, who's just sitting in and there's no space for him and he
aye,
struggles a wee bit with that.
he
Whereas
does.
if he goes to a big league, Kerr, Germany, Spain, England, there is maybe not as much the England one, but there's more teams that are a lot more expansive. So the games are a lot more both two teams having a go at each other.
Yeah.
Whereas in
Aye.
Scotland, it's Rangers v Celtic. The rest of them, it's just a low block, and that's
That's how
Kent.
you probably noticed these best games for Rangers. You can probably look back at all the Celtic games, maybe apart from the recent one. Even the recent one, he was trying, wasn't he? But he was
Yeah,
getting covered by three guys.
three guys.
I think he does like to just take players on and he likes to just attack people. But against Motherwell, St Mirren, teams like that, they're sitting with two blocks, so it's very difficult. There's no space. And he does cut inside a lot against these teams because he's looking for space. And that's where the teams want him to be because you don't want him to attack you. You don't want him to constantly go to your full back because if he beats your full back once, he thinks, right, I've got to beat you the full game. And you said earlier, he just has you in toast. It's like every game, and then they double up and he still goes by you, like we've seen with Dortmund. And I think teams know that. So they'll have maybe two guys on him. So that's up to the Rangers players then to think, well, if he's getting marked with two guys, there's space for somebody
Space for
else. So
someone else, yeah.
we're going to have to exploit that. And as difficult game, as different games in the SPL, you're playing against guys who aren't as good as you, guys, teams who are only going to come out and attack you. But that's where we have to try and be clever and don't panic. And we've seen that again last week against United. We had all the ball, we had 29, 30 shots, but we won't. Seagrass only made two saves. We're
Two
going to have to be
saves.
better. It's the finishing we're going to have to improve on. And if Morelos for some reason is not scoring in games, we do struggle. That's how last night Tav jumped up with two. We need to get Tav further up the park. That's why I think a
Yeah.
back three might do that for us because you know yourself, GD, Tav's no scared to have a shot. Some of our players maybe don't want to shoot from outside the box, but Tav's no on him. And he's up the back post. And he makes runs to the back post, which teams don't cover either.
They
So,
don't
no.
expect it, do they? Even though all
No.
these years he's done it, but they just don't expect
Aye.
a right back to be there. He's
No.
got that. He's got something in him when it comes to finishing and scoring goals. He's clearly been a winger or a striker when he was younger.
Yeah,
Kerr,
yeah.
he's
He
worked his
was,
way
aye.
back.
He
Just
started
to
as a
cut.
winger with Newcastle, I think. That's where he
Yeah,
started as a winger. And obviously, he wasn't good enough for a wing position, but you can see he still get the instincts. He just wants to
yeah.
get forward.
The other thing that probably you're talking Kent, right? Which the person who's going to be our match winner against Motherwell in any team in the SPL, the new should be Morelos.
Yeah.
He's scored an obscene amount of goals since G. I think it's some, I can't even remember, it's like 10, 14 or something like that, Kerr. He's scored not, but he's not scored. He's not scored in a couple now. He could have got to Tav's one. There's a wee bit of luck with Morelos now. He's not getting. He hits Hubble. He hits Hubbles in the line in the first half
Yeah.
when he bluttered it. Just a wee bit of luck he needs, I think, to get a goal to get him running again. What do you think?
He does, but he's still getting in the right positions.
Yeah,
If he wasn't getting in the right positions, you maybe say, right, he's no contributing, but he's still getting in there and he's still creating it. He's still getting the chances and he's still trying to score. If he wasn't doing that, you would maybe start to worry, but he's still getting in the right positions. He's still creating stuff for others and he's hold up plays better than anybody else we've got. So it is, and he can win you free kicks out of nothing. And he also presses for the front. We defend for the
yeah.
front through him. So I think he has to play. We just hope somebody else can pop up with goals because we don't get enough goals from middle of the park. We don't. You look at even any other teams in the SPL you can look at, and they probably get goals spread about. And last season we did, and I don't like keep referring to last season, but we need more goals for Ryan. Even Ryan Kent, we need more goals from him. Aribo, we need more goals from. Maybe Ryan Jack popping up with one. Lundstrom, we need Tav to try and get more. I know he's got 10, we need Tav to try and get more. We just need goals for other places because you can't always count on a striker because they're not always going to score.
And this is where I think, Kerr, this is where Kemar Roos should be getting brought on. If Morelos has maybe fluffed a couple, Roos should be coming on and scoring goals for us. But it's just not really worked for Kemar Roos this season, has it?
I don't know why, because we all know how good a goal scorer they can be. We've seen the goals, I know it's only against Annan, but it's just the touch and the strike. And
Yeah.
he's done it against better. You've seen it. The games he's played, the goals he's scored, and he has got a good goal scoring ratio for us. But some games you think he's up for us, and other games you think he's not interested. I don't know, maybe it's just his body language.
Yeah.
But I like Kemar Roof, but when he plays up there, maybe he needs somebody else. I always think he plays better with a strike partner. I don't think he can play the striker role himself. He's not that
Yeah.
type of player. Whereas
No, he's
Morelos
not
doesn't
right.
mind the hustle and the bustle and the aggravation because he's used to it. Whereas we've seen it against Celtic, Roof is non-existent. So I think maybe he's better than a two. But maybe if when you play five at the back, you can play
Yeah.
one off another.
Interesting.
And that'd be interesting against teams who aren't going to sit deeper. Because I think, right, we've not just got one here to look after, we've got two. So sometimes you're going to have to switch tactics for games. But I think at the end of the day, JD, no matter who we're playing, maybe apart from Celtic, because on a day we could beat each other. But I think anybody else, we're just going to have to go out and try and blow them away because we're better than them. We're going to have to show it. We shouldn't go out and respect anybody else in the SPL. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but
Of course.
you look at the Rangers side and you look at anybody else's, we should be beating them. And I'm not saying that like to be biased, big headed or anything else, but the players Rangers have got compared to Motherwell, Rangers should be beating Motherwell. I know football
Yeah.
doesn't work that way, but they should be beating Motherwell.
Well, Kerr, the Dortmund game last week, everybody was buzzing. Going away from home after that, it kind of took a wee bit of the wind out the sails.
Did
Um,
I?
it's good to get a home fixture under our belts right away. It's like everybody was there, everybody's going back. It's like everybody meeting up again a few days
Aye.
later, and the place is going to be buzzing again. So the crowd have got a massive part to play. And I mean, last night was unbelievable.
It was last night. Atmosphere was amazing, but European nights are always special. Aye, but you know yourself, some league games it can be flat because especially if you don't score after 10, 15 minutes, the fans or oh, it's one of these games. A game are going to drop points, and it's just human nature. It's just a human response, especially the football fans. We can be bouncing about 1 minute and moaning, groaning, and next. Look at
Eight
me,
people the
John
next.
Lundstrom. John Lundstrom, for example, in January he was get him to. Do you know what I
I
mean? And
know.
then the following month, oh, he's a great player. Hope he stays next season. Do you know what I mean? That's the way football fans work, and it's just the way we go. We're up high when we're winning, we're down low when we're losing. And if we draw, we don't know what way to turn. So,
Yeah.
but we need 3 points. Like I said earlier, we can't even afford any more draws.
Yeah.
We can't because I don't see them losing points. I don't got points because folk turn around and say they're not playing great. They're not,
I
but
heard me.
they're winning.
I know.
And
Agreed.
nobody remembers the games. Oh, you didn't play great against them. I don't really care. We win. We get 3 points. We played well again last week, but we never get 3 points. I rather play
The,
bad than get points. Do you know what I mean?
Keir, we're in a title race now. There's no many games left. I know we're no big for talking about them, but I think the longer we do these shows, the previews and the best and the rest of it, we're going to start talking about what's going to happen. And they're away Easter Road. Hibs are shite right now, though, so that might not say nothing. But the Hibs are due to get a result from somewhere. Maloney can't keep no getting results. He's got to get a result at one point. I don't think they've actually played really well, other than the Old Firm game. They've not played well even right through. I don't know. They're getting the points, is what you're saying. Before we finish, Kerr, what's your thoughts? Are we going to be getting our, never mind them, are we going to get our 3 points on Sunday?
Hopefully, I think we'll win 3-1. I think they will score because I think we're at the moment in time. Al McGregor's not been playing great, and I'm a big fan of Al McGregor. He's up there as one of the best Rangers keepers there's been. But I just think his bodies and his brains wants to keep playing. His body's telling his
Yeah.
brain, listen, I'm finished here. But I just think we're always liable to concede. So I think we need to score more than one to win
Who's
the
our
game.
match winner? Who do you think the match winner will be?
I think Tav will continue his streak.
It's massive, isn't it?
I said on the night to eat Tav, if you remember, on the pod.
Easy. I know. I can't believe you said
I
that.
didn't even
Who bet
put
the
it on
money
as
on
a
it?
bet. No.
I seen Aldo McNaught had said the same 2-2 and he'd a fiver on it. And the only thing I put on, I seen when we were drawn and McGregor was dilly-dallying. So I jumped on 7-1 to get carded. I was like, yeah, beauty. There's like half an hour to go. I thought, he would have cut a goal. I was like, McGregor, just take one for the team, and he didn't get because they needed to score 2, didn't they? Anyway, let's end it there, Kerr. We've just kind of previewed the game. We've looked a wee bit at Motherwell. We've looked at us. Let's keep the momentum going.
Yep.
Kerr, have a good weekend, mate. Have a good weekend. Have a good day, and I'll speak to you later on. Just thanks to everybody for listening, as per usual. And we'll see everybody for the match reaction. I think Martin's doing the match reaction. Will be like Sunday dinner time-ish, roughly 5-ish or something.
Hopefully I'm back up. Hopefully I'm back up the road for that and I'll watch it.
Yeah. Anyway, Kerr, thanks for joining me.
No
man.
bother.
See you later on, mate.
Bye.